Hello, I am Ryan, and these are my favorite sport touring tires. I do a lot of this type of riding, and when I do, I'm really asking a lot out of my wheel. I want it to have a good load capacity for my passenger. If I leave them at home, I still want to be able to get my knee down. And it has to have good mileage as well, because I'm really going to be eating up those kilometers. It's a tall order, so for me, only 4 tires fit the bill. Obvious choice first, the Michelin Pilot Road 4. For 75% of the riders out there, myself included, this is the sport touring tire to buy. It's multifunctional to the max. I like the hard center belt for increased mileage. You can normally get around 15,000 kilometers on a Pilot Road rear. And I also like this softer cornering strip as well, which really helps you get aggressive in the corners. But the main thing that makes me want to actually buy this tire is the XST system, which stands for X-Type technology. When you ride in the rain, the #1 danger is hydroplaning. That's when the tire fails to channel water away from its contact path. So you end up sliding on the water rather than sticking to the pavement, which is bad. You can defeat this problem by moving all the water into a tire's grooves, but there's a problem with that. Because as you carve more and more grooves into the tire, you're actually getting less surface area to put to the pavement. So it's a trade-off. Michelin sidesteps this problem with X-Type. They use these teeny tiny channels here to move the water, so the tire's contact area isn't really affected very much. And then the water gets pushed into these little reservoirs that are much deeper, so it holds the water out of the way and you don't hydroplane on it. It's incredibly simple, but in my opinion, it's also genius. The Pilot Road 4 comes in a few variations. This is the standard version, which will work on pretty much any bike. And then there's the GT version, which has a stiffer casing for really heavy sport tourers or two-up riding. And then finally there's the idiotically named trail version, which is actually meant for adventure touring bikes that never actually go on the trail. Personally, I really hate that last one. The tire itself is fine, but why would you put a street-only tire on an adventure bike? Now, the bargain basement alternative to the Pilot Road 4 is going to be the Bridgestone Battlax BT023. In this size, the Michelins would cost you $210, while the Bridgestones, $146. And I bet you could tell me why. We have dual compound technology for a high mileage center belt and then softer, grippier cornering edges. We have a silica-based rubber compound that gives good grip in the freezing Winnipeg temperatures. And we have a tire construction that can handle even the chunkiest of pillions. So what's missing? Water siping technology. Bridgestone says that this is good in the rain, but I say, meh. Will it channel water? Yes. Is it safe to ride in the wet? Absolutely, as long as you don't do anything stupid. But if I live in subaquatic Vancouver, where I'm going to be doing wet weather panic stops on a daily basis, I'll spend the extra $60 and get the Pilot Road 4. Having said that, if you live somewhere drier, if you only ride in fair weather, or even if you're just willing to take it easy in the rain, the Bridgestone Battlax BT023 is a smart choice that's going to save you some money. So we've seen 2 great sport touring tires, but the last 2 that we're going to look at kind of lean more towards the sport side of that balance. They're faster than the tires that we've seen already. First up, the Pirelli Angel GT. 2 things I love about this tire have absolutely nothing to do with function, but I'm going to say them anyway. The name, Angel GT, sounds so damn cool. And the tread pattern, I mean, just look at it. You can trust the Italians when it comes to fashion. It's like some kind of razor-sharp butterfly wing or something. Anyway, this tire can back up its looks. Pirelli calls it an EMS tire, Extended Mileage Sport. So basically they took a super sport tire and they beefed it up a little bit. Yes, it can take a tourer over 10,000 kilometers, but where this thing really shines is speed. The Angel GT is for the sport rider who goes touring. You've thrown a couple side cases on your Yamaha R1 and bought a high-vis helmet. Good for you, you're a tourer now. Just go buy this tire and you won't regret it. As a testament to its sportiness, Pirelli made their grooves get shallower and shallower as they get closer to the edge. So they're basically saying, hey, if you've got the balls to take your sport tourer and ride it all the way out here on the edge, we'll give you a slick strip to do it on. And I love that. I'd probably never make use of it, but I love it. The Angel GT does have a couple variations you should be aware of. There's an A-Spec, which has a stronger, heavier carcass, really meant for those big touring rigs. And then there's the D-Spec, which was specifically designed for the Ducati Multistrada GT. So it's basically useless unless you happen to have that particular motorcycle. There's also the Angel ST, which people think is a variation of the GT, but it's not. It's just an older version and it's crap, so don't buy it. And finally, a very similar tire to the Angel GT is going to be the Metzeler Roadtec Z8 Interact. Is it surprising that these 2 tires are similar? No. Pirelli has owned Metzeler for the last 30 years. and all of their tires are made in the same factory in Germany. There are even conspiracy theories that the Z8 and the Angels are actually the same tire with different tread patterns. To be honest, I don't care if they did reuse the tire construction because it's done so well. Metzeler has found a way to modulate the tension of their steel belts. So we have really tight, firm steel down the middle belt and then looser belts here on the side. And at this point, I'm sure you know why that's a good thing. All the usual goodies are here too. Silica compound for wet and cold grip, water siping grooves, and various carcass constructions. M-spec for lighter bikes, O-spec with an additional ply for heavier loads, and a few one-off specs for individual Yamaha and BMW models. I should say that the Pirellis and Metzelers differ in two areas. One, this tire is $213, while the equivalent Pirelli is $225. To me, $12 isn't really worth making a decision over, so I pay attention to the second difference instead. The Metzeler's tread pattern is slightly better for going fast in the rain, while the Pirelli's tread pattern is slightly better in dry conditions. For me, I ride a lot in adverse weather, so I'll take the Metzelers and keep my $12 to boot. So, that's it for my favorite sport touring tires. If you want the all-around best tire and the safest tire in the rain, go with the Pilot Road 4. If you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of wet weather handling, you can save $60 by going with the Bridgestone Battlax BTO 23. And if all you care about is going fast, then choose the Angel GT for speed on the dry and the Z8 Interact for speed on the wet. As always, you can find the product links right below this video. You can also leave me a comment if you have a question or if I messed something up. And thank you very much for watching.